evening, everyone. I am calling our meeting to order on today, March 15th. Please call the roll.
President Adair,
Present.
Ms. Beckerly,
Present.
Mr. Brown,
I'm here.
Mr. Cole,
I am present.
Dr. Pierce, Vice President Reyes,
Here.
Ms. Vera.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Will you all please stand and recite the pledge with me?
Flag.
Thank you. Board members, on our agenda this evening, we have no public comment on agenda items. We are expecting no reports from our direct reports this evening. We have 3 items to discuss in board matters, and we have our consent agenda. And we have no speakers on our non-agenda items, and we will not have an executive session. That is our agenda this evening. Are there is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any additions or questions? Seeing none, without objection, the agenda is now adopted. So our superintendent is actually out of district today, but I want to welcome Dr. James, who always sits at our table. But let me say hi to you. Are there any announcements from administration?
Not this evening.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And we'll go over to Carolyn Smith is also not here, and we don't have anyone from her office today. I think, is anybody online? No. Okay. And we'll say hi to our treasurer.
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
I noticed you didn't ask me if I had any announcements.
I was just going to ask you, do you have any announcements?
You were
Norma?
reticent to give me an open mic, which is so noted to
Wise.
the record.
I know.
Thank you very much.
You know he a Baptist preacher in his other life.
Do
We're good.
Do you have any announcements for us?
Nope, we're good.
It's more than enough.
All right, so on our board matters, our first item is item 7.1, presentation of the calendars for the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 school year. So I'm going to have our general counsel, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you, Madam President. One correction, this is a presentation of the 22-23 calendar because this is a negotiation year. The 23-24 calendar is not before the board until following the negotiations with CEA that will begin shortly. It is anticipated that the 23-24 school calendar will be presented during the fall. And I'm here before you this evening to present the proposed 22-23 calendar. It is not up for vote this evening. Pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, the board must hold a public hearing 30 days prior to adopting the calendar. So this is an opportunity for the board to hear the presentation and also for the public to hear the presentation and provide any input before the board votes on and adopts the resolution. It is expected that the calendar will be before the board at its April 20th meeting for adoption. In adopting or in proposing the school calendar, the district solicited input from our district families, solicited input from our school administrators, and input was also provided by CEA. And in fact, an MOU has been agreed upon between the district and CEA regarding the school calendar. And I'm supposed to work the PowerPoint. Let's see how that works for me. Dangerous. So state law, specifically Ohio Revised Code, the Ohio Revised Code requires 910 instruction hours for grades kindergarten through 6, and 1,001 hours for grades 7 through 12. Instructional hours cannot include breakfast or lunch periods or extracurricular activities. Board policy also addresses the school calendar and defines a school day as the time during a calendar day that a school is open for instruction. Not all of our schools have the same number of total hours of instructions due to different times dedicated to lunch periods. For our elementary schools, recess time also varies. The instruction hours for both calendars go beyond the state required minimum for both the traditional school calendar and Woodcrest. And per board policy and our collective bargaining agreement with CEA, the length of the school day is governed by the collective bargaining agreement. The length of the school day for kindergarten through grade 8 is 6.5 hours, and the length of the school day for middle and high schools is 7 hours. And for the traditional school year, 22-23, the teachers report on Monday, August 22nd, students Wednesday, the 24th, and Wellness Week. As you know, on last year, the superintendent created Wellness Week, adding 2 days to the week off for Thanksgiving, and that will continue for this school year. It will run from Monday, November 21st through November 25th. The last student day is Thursday, June 1st, and the last teacher day is June 2nd, Friday. Winter break begins on Wednesday, December 21st, and there is an early dismissal on Tuesday, December 20th, and winter break goes through Tuesday, January 3rd. With students returning on Wednesday, January 4th. Spring break begins on Friday, April 7th, and extends through Friday, April 14th, with students returning on Monday, April 15th. This slide sets out the professional development days for our teachers and record days. As you can see, there are 8 professional development days for teachers and 4 record days. Moving to the Woodcrest Elementary School, which is our all-year school. The teachers report on Monday, July 25th, and students report on Wednesday, July 27th. And both for the traditional school year and for Woodcrest, the teachers' first 2 days are professional development days. Like the traditional school, Wellness Week runs during the entire week of Thanksgiving. The last student day is Wednesday, June 7th. The last teacher day is Thursday, June 8th. We have winter break from Monday, December 21st, with an early dismissal on, the 21st is Tuesday, I believe. Yes, the 21st is on a Wednesday. So winter break starts on Wednesday, and there's an early dismissal on Tuesday, December 20th. It extends through Tuesday of January 3rd. Spring break begins on April 7th, Friday, April 7th, with early dismissal on Thursday, April 6th, and extends through Friday, April 14th. Like the traditional schools, Woodcrest has 8 professional development days and 4 record days for teachers. Woodcrest also has 3 intercessions. The first intercession being starting Monday, October 2nd through Friday, October 21st. Second intercession starts on Wednesday, January 4th, immediately after the winter break through Tuesday, January 10th. The third intercession starts on Monday, March 27th, and ends and runs through Thursday, April 6th. And in your package, you see a visual calendar of the 22-23 calendar with the designated days marked off, professional development days, intercession days, days in which the district buildings are closed. And on April 20th, I will come back before you and make a recommendation that the board adopt the proposed traditional calendar and the Woodcrest calendar for calendar year 2022-23. At this time, I can't entertain any questions that you may have.
Questions for Mr. Barnes? Board Member Cole.
Thank you. With regard to the calendar, how far beyond state requirement do we exceed in hours of instruction?
I don't have the exact number, but we are well beyond.
Yeah, if I could, I'd love to have that information just to know. In addition to that, I'd like to know, do we extend beyond that minimum also because of our Woodcrest calendar, that all-year calendar? Is that another contribution to why we extend beyond? I'd just like to know. When I have conversations with, our stakeholders, those who we represent the vision and values of, about, how many instructional hours are provided, I like to be able to give them the facts. Thank you.
Additional questions? Board Member Beckerly.
I don't have any questions about the calendar. Just 2 thoughts that I'd just like to throw out there for consideration at some point. Are we thinking about, is there value in expanding the year-round school? It's been Woodcrest for a while, and I mean, this is not a for now thing, but that's one thing I'd put a pin in. The other thing I'd like to put a pin in is spring break being tied to Easter. And I don't know what drives that, but it often is a much longer stretch without a break from January to spring break than it is from August to Thanksgiving. So I just think that's, if it's happening just because that's the way we always did it, could we think about it? If there's other reasons for it that I don't understand and never did when I was teaching, that's okay too. That's all I got.
Rivera.
I just had a quick question. So if parents or the community has input, or if they want to voice a concern about the calendar, can you explain what the process is for them to be able to do that?
Yes, they were. We have our family ambassadors prepared and submitted surveys to those parents, and the parents did respond to those surveys. And in fact, we adopted some of those suggestions, which were good. I think that in the first draft, I think we even had. I think school was open on Election Day. And the parents, of course, said, no, that should not happen. We also moved up the last day of school. I think previously, in previous years, in some previous years, the last day for students and teachers has spilled over into different weeks. And so we moved those to the same week. We moved some dates around for winter break to ensure that there was an additional off day following the first of the year.
Thank you.
And those did come from parents.
Additional comment, question?
Yeah, just a quick.
Nicole?
Thank you. Madam President, I'd just like us all to consider how well we align our monitoring schedule and reports to this calendar so that we, at the same time as we release data, we can also be discussing that data.
Looks like there are no additional questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, board members, the next item is to look at our board implementation timeline, and we have board member Beckerly help us walk through these. I was just taking a peek at it, and I think everything is still the same color because we are still waiting to schedule with AJ. And we're going to have a conversation momentarily about one part of this, and this is the about community education workshops. That's part of this as well. So, if Board Member Beckerly, I don't know if I captured that. If you think anything else, or any other board member, if we need to change anything else to a different color, but I think we are still very much off track of all the rest of the January items and February items because of scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, as long as we all understand that, arguably the salmon-y colored things in March should be red too. Not the 50% yet, because we haven't established that yet, but the board training and the board self-eval, because we haven't done the training yet, so we're not doing the self-eval. But that, that's pretty self-evident. So we could turn those red. And I think in April, the not started speaks for itself, which is what gray is, I believe. Yeah, not started. So.
Any other comments on our timeline?
Nope. What I want to do, Madam President, is work with Board Member Beckley to coordinate with Ms. Ashley Pez. I think that she'll be helpful in us kind of kickstarting that process and walking us through
Which process?
the one we're talking about now, where we're behind.
Oh, okay. Well, we were, okay, I mean.
Hold on, let's go to the next topic, and I think maybe that's part of the next discussion.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where we are. There's no other comments on any of the
Bless you.
colors. We agree that they are all, at this moment in time, the same, and probably at our meeting, we probably will turn those at the end of the month red as well, the yellow boxes. We can do that in April. All right, so we'll go ahead and into item 7.3, and this is still a similar discussion. This is around board engagement around some of the requirements in the SOGF model, specifically around the expectation of the board to educate the community as well as our staff on what is this model. And so I asked Board Member Beckerly to kind of help us understand what our responsibilities are in this space, have a little discussion, and then I would like to put a small working group around it with our, if they agree, our SOGF team right now, which is Board Member Vera, Board Member Beckerly, and Board Member Cole, to really kind of help us decide what the actual curriculum or strategy. Or plan or whatever it is that we're going to do to help us meet this goal as part of the SOGF framework. So I'll turn it back to you, Board Member Beckerly, as well as the colleagues, if any of you know. I don't know how far you are in your training yet to talk about this part.
I think that in terms of moving through the rubric in the manual, you don't get to highly effective until we can say that we're regularly conducting trainings in the community so the community understands what this model is and how we're governing. One piece of that is the internal community. And I think we're at a point now where we're far enough along in this process where we're kind of discovering that our staff and both at the the central office level and even more so in the buildings are not aware of this kind of fairly monumental shift we're making in how we govern and how we're focusing things. And it's intended to be a climate shift, and it's intended to be a culture shift, and it's intended to be a shift where adult behavior has to change. So I think it's like clearly the time where we have to have a strategy to make sure our staff knows what we're doing and why. And I mean, I could share some ideas we have, but I think that what we really need to do is create a working group among the three of us and come up with a plan. And I think we should have a really short fuse on that plan, like a couple of weeks. Next board meeting, we should have something that we're ready to start doing.
Or at least discuss, but yes.
Yeah, ready to present.
Yeah, ready to, yeah.
Fair enough.
Does,
Sorry.
are there any, I'm going to just open it up. So listening to what Board Member Beckerly has said, are there questions, comments? Are you all okay with this approach? What are any thoughts that anyone would like to share? Okay, so I will go ahead and make that subcommittee of the three, Board Member Vera, Board Member Beckerly, Board Member Cole, and you are charged with coming up with a strategy and/or framework to present back to us at our next board meeting to have discussion, and if we can, provide that prior to the meeting so that the board can look at it for reaction, so we're ready to discuss when it comes to the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for clarification, we're just picking off a piece of the overall engagement, which
Correct.
is just engaging our organization.
Correct.
Because there is a bigger piece that we're going to have to tackle as well.
Yes, and I'm hoping that maybe we can also have that discussion at our next meeting.
Still need feedback from everybody.
Okay.
Although, again, even within that, there's engagement just for engagement's sake, and there's engagement to educate about SOFG.
Yes.
Okay? Just clarifying.
Two things that maybe could go sometimes together, but
Oh, yeah.
again, we need
Yes,
to
yes,
think through
yes.
that. All right, so we're already into our consent agenda. This evening, our consent agenda consists of items 9.1 to 23.9. Are there any items any board member would like to remove for separate vote? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? Are there any items a board member would like to discuss? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Ms. Beckerly,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce, Vice President Reyes,
Yes.
Ms. Vera,
Yes.
President Adair.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Our consent agenda has been approved. We have no public comments on non-agenda items. We have no executive session. So believe it or not, the last thing I need is a motion to adjourn.
A motion.
Second.
Thank you. Without objection, we are adjourned.
Thank you. This is a record.
Wow.